Prime Minister Narendra Modi makes an impassionate appeal to international community not to allow any country to use terrorism as a political tool. In his address to the 76th session of the UNGA, Prime Minister also calls for ensuring Afghanistan does not become a terror launch pad. In his UNGA address, Prime Minister asserts that oceans are the lifelines of commercial activity and no country should use them for advancing their expansionist agenda. Calls for ensuring freedom of navigation. Prime Minister flags the origin of COVID-19 and recent rankings of ease of doing business to assert that international agencies have failed in their responsibilities. Calls for more assertive and just international order. Prime Minister highlights India's achievements even during the worst phase of COVID, says world's first DNA-based vaccine has been developed by India, invites global companies to manufacture vaccines in India. Prime Minister leaves for country after completing highly successful US visit. Brings with him 157 stolen artifacts and antiquities which were handed over to him by US authorities. And Germany goes to polls today after gloriously leading the country for 16 years. Chancellor Angela Merkel to step down after the polls. Pollsters predict a tough fight between Social Democrats and Christian Democratic Union. Good morning, you're watching DD India and I'm Preeti presenting this edition of the news. Let's begin with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's US visit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that threat of regressive thinking and extremism is on the rise. Addressing the 76th session of the UN General Assembly, Prime Minister also targeted countries that are using terrorism as a political tool. Prime Minister also underscored the importance of combating terrorism in Afghanistan. He said that Afghan territory must not be used to attack any country.
In his address to the 76th annual session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, Prime Minister openly spoke about India's stand on the present world situation and complexities. The Prime Minister spoke strongly on all regional and international issues, including terrorism and recent developments in Afghanistan. Without taking names, he targeted countries that are using terrorism as a political tool.
रिग्रेसिव थिंकिंग के साथ जो देश आतंकवाद का पॉलिटिकल टूल के रूप में इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, उन्हें ये समझना होगा कि आतंकवाद उनके लिए भी उतना ही बड़ा खतरा है। ये सुनिश्चित किया जाना बहुत जरूरी है कि अफगानिस्तान की धरती का इस्तेमाल आतंकवाद फैलाने और आतंकी हमलों के लिए न हो। हमें इस बात के लिए भी सतर्क रहना होगा कि वहां की नाजुक स्थितियों का कोई देश अपने स्वार्थ के लिए एक टूल की तरह इस्तेमाल करने की कोशिश न करें।
Speaking of the Afghanistan crisis, Prime Minister stressed that Afghan soil should not be misused by perpetrators of global terrorism. He also highlighted the need to protect the rights of women and minorities in Afghanistan and said that ensuring this is the responsibility of the world.
इस समय अफगानिस्तान की जनता को, वहां की महिलाओं और बच्चों को वहां की माइनॉरिटीज को मदद की जरूरत है और इसमें हमें अपना दायित्व निभाना ही होगा।
On the issue of securing seas and growing expansionism, Prime Minister said protecting common heritage is a must.
हमें ये ध्यान रखना होगा कि ओशन रिसोर्सेज को हम यूज करें, एब्यूज नहीं। हमारे समंदर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय व्यापार की लाइफलाइन भी है। इन्हें हमें एक्सपांशन और एक्सक्लूजन की दौड़ से बचाकर रखना होगा। सुरक्षा परिषद में भारत की प्रेसिडेंसी के दौरान बनी विस्तृत सहमति विश्व को मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी के विषय में आगे बढ़ने का मार्ग दिखाती है।
A collective global commitment and action to ensuring a rules-based global order was something the Prime Minister emphasized on in his address.
आने वाली पीढ़ियों को जवाब देना है कि जब फैसले लेने का समय था तब जिन पर विश्व को दिशा देने का दायित्व था वो क्या कर रहे थे। आज विश्व के सामने रिग्रेसिव थिंकिंग और एक्सट्रीमिज्म का खतरा बढ़ता जा रहा है।
The crux of the Prime Minister's take on extremism, terrorism and expansionism was a call to come together on one page on these global challenges that reflect the contemporary reality. With Sudhakar Das and Ramesh Ramachandran in New York, DD India.
Also in his address at the UNGA, Prime Minister Modi also paid homage to those who lost their lives due to the pandemic. The Prime Minister also invited manufacturers to come and make vaccines in India.
Addressing the 76th session of the UN General Assembly, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke of the global response to the COVID pandemic. He described the pandemic as the biggest challenge of the century. Paying homage to those who lost their lives, Prime Minister said despite limited resources, India has put up a commendable battle against the pandemic.
भारत का वैक्सीन डिलीवरी प्लेटफॉर्म कोविन एक ही दिन में करोड़ों वैक्सीन डोज लगाने के लिए डिजिटल सपोर्ट दे रहा है। सेवा परमो धर्मः को जीने वाला भारत सीमित संसाधनों के बावजूद भी वैक्सीनेशन डेवलपमेंट और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में जी जान से जुटा है। मैं आज दुनिया भर के वैक्सीन मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को भी आमंत्रित करता हूं, come make vaccine in India.
Prime Minister said that India has succeeded in developing the world's first DNA-based vaccine.
भारत ने दुनिया की पहली डीएनए वैक्सीन विकसित कर ली है, जिसे 12 साल की आयु से ज्यादा के सभी लोगों को लगाया जा सकता है। एक और mRNA वैक्सीन अपने डेवलपमेंट के आखिरी चरण में है। भारत के वैज्ञानिक कोरोना की एक नेजल वैक्सीन के निर्माण में भी जुटे हैं। मानवता के प्रति अपने दायित्व को समझते हुए भारत ने एक बार फिर दुनिया के जरूरतमंदों को वैक्सीन देनी शुरू कर दी है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also spoke of Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign. He said that a key lesson that the pandemic has taught us is that to make the global economy more resilient, industrial diversification and strengthening global supply chains is a must.
कोरोना महामारी ने विश्व को यह भी सबक दिया है कि वैश्विक अर्थव्यवस्था को अब और अधिक डाइवर्सिफाई किया जाए। इसके लिए ग्लोबल वैल्यू चेन्स का विस्तार आवश्यक है। हमारा आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान इसी भावना से प्रेरित है। ग्लोबल इंडस्ट्रियल डाइवर्सिफिकेशन के लिए भारत विश्व का एक लोकतांत्रिक और भरोसेमंद पार्टनर बन रहा है।
Prime Minister gave a clear message to the world on COVID that India is not only saving the lives of its countrymen but is also helping the world in the war against the pandemic. With Sudhakar Das and Ramesh Ramachandran from New York, DD India.
Also in his address at the UN General Assembly, Prime Minister Modi described India's diversity as a reflection of democracy, as well as said that democracy is part of India's tradition and culture since time immemorial.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi took the democratic values rooted in India to the world stage as he addressed the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly. While reminiscing his childhood, the Prime Minister recalled that the little boy who helped his father at a tea stall is today addressing the UNGA for the 4th time.
ये भारत के लोकतंत्र की ताकत है कि एक छोटा बच्चा जो कभी एक रेलवे स्टेशन के टी स्टॉल पर अपने पिता की मदद करता था, वो आज चौथी बार भारत के प्रधानमंत्री के तौर पर यूएनजीए को संबोधित कर रहा है। सबसे लंबे समय तक गुजरात का मुख्यमंत्री और फिर पिछले 7 साल से भारत के प्रधानमंत्री के तौर पर मुझे हेड ऑफ गवर्नमेंट की भूमिका में देशवासियों की सेवा करते हुए 20 साल हो रहे हैं और मैं अपने अनुभव से कह रहा हूं, यस, डेमोक्रेसी कैन डिलीवर। यस, democracy has delivered.
Prime Minister described India's diversity as a reflection of democracy. He said that he feels proud to lead the nation, which is regarded as the mother of democracy. The Prime Minister also reiterated that democracy is part of India's tradition and culture since time immemorial. He also spoke of 2021 as a landmark year that celebrates the 75th year of India's independence.
मैं उस देश का प्रतिनिधित्व कर रहा हूं जिसे मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी का गौरव हासिल है। लोकतंत्र की हमारी हजारों वर्षों की महान परंपरा रही है। इस 15 अगस्त को भारत ने अपनी आजादी के 75वें साल में प्रवेश किया है। हमारी विविधता हमारे सशक्त लोकतंत्र की पहचान है। एक ऐसा देश जिसमें दर्जनों भाषाएं हैं, सैकड़ों बोलियां हैं, अलग अलग रहन सहन खान पान है। ये वाइब्रेंट डेमोक्रेसी का बेहतरीन उदाहरण है।
In addition to this, Prime Minister Modi stressed on the priority of making development all-inclusive, all-encompassing and all-pervasive.
अंत्योदय को आज की परिभाषा में where no one is left behind कहा जाता है। इसी भावना के साथ भारत आज इंटीग्रेटेड, इक्विटेबल डेवलपमेंट की राह पर आगे बढ़ रहा है। विकास सर्वसमावेशी हो, सर्वस्पर्शी हो, सर्वव्यापी हो, सर्वपोषक हो, यही हमारी प्राथमिकता है।
The Prime Minister also underlined that today every 6th person in the world is an Indian, which means when India progresses, the world's development also gets a new pace. Ramesh Ramachandran and Sudhakar Das's report for DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also said that United Nations should work to effectively address the modern-day challenges. He said that the proxy war going on in many parts of the world, terrorism and the recent crisis in Afghanistan have further enhanced the seriousness of these questions.
Addressing the 76th session of the United Nations, Prime Minister said that whether it's about tackling emerging challenges of climate change in the world or the developing crisis in Afghanistan, the United Nations should work to ensure its relevance and to improve its effectiveness in order to address the realities of the contemporary world.
जब सही समय पर सही कार्य नहीं किया जाता तो समय ही उस कार्य की सफलता को समाप्त कर देता है। संयुक्त राष्ट्र को खुद को प्रासंगिक बनाए रखना है तो उसे अपनी इफेक्टिवनेस को सुधारना होगा, रिलायबिलिटी को बढ़ाना होगा।
Raising his concern over global challenges, Prime Minister said it seems that the credibility of the United Nations is being questioned.
यूएन पर आज कई तरह के सवाल खड़े हो रहे हैं। इन सवाल को हमने क्लाइमेट क्राइसिस में देखा है, कोविड के दौरान देखा है, दुनिया के कई हिस्सों में चल रही प्रॉक्सी वॉर, आतंकवाद और अभी अफगानिस्तान के संकट ने इन सवालों को और गहरा कर दिया है। कोविड के ओरिजिन के संदर्भ में और ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस रैंकिंग को लेकर वैश्विक गवर्नेंस से जुड़ी संस्थाओं ने दशकों के परिश्रम से बनी अपनी विश्वसनीयता को नुकसान पहुंचाया है।
Prime Minister said that in order to maintain the relevance of the United Nations, the world community must come together to ensure a rules-based global order that has its bedrock in ensuring good for all. Prime Minister concluded with inspirational quotes from Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore.
शुभो कर्म पोथे धोरो निर्भयो गान शोभ दुर्बल सौन्योष होक अवसान। अर्थात अपने शुभ कर्म पथ पर निर्भीक होकर आगे बढ़ो, सभी दुर्बलताएं और शंकाएं समाप्त हो। ये संदेश आज के संदर्भ में संयुक्त राष्ट्र के लिए जितना प्रासंगिक है उतना ही हर जिम्मेदार देश के लिए भी।
Ramesh Ramachandran and Sudhakar Das's report, DD India.
Prime Minister also on his return is on his way back to the country, and a total of 157 artifacts and antiquities were handed over by the United States during Prime Minister's visit. Prime Minister Modi conveyed his deep appreciation for the repatriation of the antiquities to India by the United States. The list of 157 artifacts includes a diverse set of items ranging from the 1.5-meter bas relief panel of Revanta in the sandstone of the 10th century to the exquisite bronze Nataraja from the 12th century. Also, the items largely belong to the period of 11th century to 14th century, as well as historic antiquities such as copper, anthropomorphic objects of 2000 BC or the terracotta vase from the 2nd century. While half of the artifacts are cultural, the other half consist of figurines which relate to Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism. This continues the efforts by Modi government to bring back our antiquities and artifacts from across the world. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi concluded his US trip and has departed for India from John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York. Earlier, Prime Minister addressed the 76th session of the UNGA, where he touched upon several pressing global issues such as COVID-19 pandemic, the need to combat terrorism and also the need to strengthen the United Nations. His trip to the US included bilateral meetings with US President Joe Biden, multilateral meetings with Quad leaders, and he also held discussions with US Vice President Kamala Harris and the CEOs of some international companies. Earlier, before departing for the airport, Prime Minister Modi met people gathered outside his hotel in New York. And Prime Minister Modi has described his bilateral and multilateral engagements in the US as productive ones. In the tweet, the Prime Minister said, and I quote him, "Over the last few days, have had productive bilateral and multilateral engagements, interaction with the CEOs and also the UN address. I am confident that India-US relationship will grow even stronger in the years to come. Our rich people-to-people linkages are among our strong assets." Prime Minister Narendra Modi delivered a video address at the Global Citizen Live. Global Citizen is a global advocacy organization that is working to end extreme poverty. Global Citizen Live is a 24-hour event which will involve live events in major cities including Mumbai, New York, Paris, Rio de Janeiro, Sydney, Los Angeles, Lagos and Seoul. The event will be broadcast in 120 countries and over multiple social media channels. Addressing the event, Prime Minister said that poverty can be fought when the poor start seeing governments as trusted partners, adding when power is used to empower the poor, they get the strength to fight poverty.
Among the most persistent of the challenge is poverty. Poverty cannot be fought by making the poor more dependent on governments. Poverty can be fought when the poor start seeing governments as trusted partners. Trusted partners who will give them the enabling infrastructure to forever break the vicious circle of poverty.
India, in its right of reply at the UN General Assembly, slammed Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan for his speech at the UNGA. India slammed Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's references to Kashmir in his UNGA Assembly virtual speech. First Secretary to the United Nations, Sneha Dubey, has said, regrettably, this is not the first time the leader of Pakistan has misused platforms provided by the UN to propagate false and malicious propaganda against India and also seeking in vain to divert the world's attention from the sad state of his country.
We keep hearing that Pakistan is a victim of terrorism. This is the country which is an arsonist disguising itself as a firefighter. Pakistan nurtures terrorists in their backyard in the hope that they will only harm their neighbors. Our region, in fact, the entire world, has suffered because of their policies. On the other hand, they are trying to cover up sectarian violence in their country as acts of terror.
Also, Germans will vote for the 20th Bundestag also select a new chancellor to replace Angela Merkel. For the first time since German reunification, Conservative Chancellor Angela Merkel will not be a candidate. She served as leader of the Christian Democratic Union of Germany for 20 years and has been in power for 16 years. Pollsters are predicting a tough fight between Merkel's Christian Democratic Union and centre-left Social Democratic Party. The CDU and the SPD are the two largest parties in German politics and have been sharing power under Merkel's fourth term as Chancellor. And back home, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with people in the country and abroad in his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. It will be the 81st episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan and also on AIR News website, that is www.newsonair.com and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. All India Radio will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will be repeated at 8 in the evening. Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, or the CSIR, is celebrating its 80th Foundation Day And Dr. Shekhar Mande, DG CSIR, said that the institute has come a long way from its inception and is very much in sync for the future as well. Our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya spoke to Dr. Shekhar Mande in this exclusive interview.
Celebrating its 80th Foundation Day on Sunday, and I have with me DG CSIR himself to talk about this legacy. We have seen CSIR grow into a huge organization, a scientific body which has worked really hard during this pandemic. Your thought on that?
See, CSIR was formed before independence, 5 years before independence. So we are going to celebrate our 80th Foundation Day on 26th September. As you know, when India became independent, there were a large number of challenges that our society faced. And today, after 80 years, after 75 years of independence, what you see is that there are many countries who became independent around the same time. In Southeast Asia, South Asia, Africa and all, in that period of about 5-10 years plus minus, India is the only country which has made a big difference to the world than compared to many other countries. And that's because one of the reasons is that we adopted a very strong science and technology policy. And the mantle of implementing that science and technology policy came upon CSIR. And we are very proud what CSIR did.
Prime Minister spoke about the fact that one has to be Atmanirbhar, and we have seen earlier there was a large chunk of government funding used to go to CSIR, but now that in the last few years we have seen CSIR labs, CSIR himself that has managed to get funding from private bodies, industries, and has actually managed to become Atmanirbhar. How do you see in the next 5 to 10 years CSIR planning out how do they go about it?
So as you correctly said, the concept of Atmanirbhar essentially is to make sure that India is self-reliant on every aspect of anything that what we do, and science and technology plays a very important role in this particular concept. Now, being ability to generate funds for what we want to do is another ability, and the pandemic once again offered a very good opportunity for generating even our own funds. And CSIR from its inception, from the time it began, has always worked very closely with industrial houses. Just to give you an example, to start some of the CSIR labs, in the initial years, funding was generously given by the Tata Trusts at that time. So we have always worked closely with industry. CIPLA's founder, Abdul Khwaja Hamid, was CSIR's governing body member for 20 years since CSIR's inception. So there's the connect of CSIR with other industries. And we have strengthened it further in the last few years. And industry is now coming forward in supporting our research more and more and more. And we see great value of working together, the R&D as the public sees it in science and technology, and its applications via industry, so that these solutions can be taken to society, which is our common denominator or the stakeholder for all of us together. One other major concept when we talk of Atmanirbhar Bharat is also the futuristic areas. See, today we can become Atmanirbhar in whatever we are using and generate those technologies to become Atmanirbhar. But technologies are not static. They're always going to change. And in the coming years, we are going to get newer and newer technologies. And it is important that we keep up pace with developing those technologies as well. So therefore, it is important that we actually work on very futuristic areas. And CSIR has already undertaken, we have done technology mapping, and the areas we think which are very important for future, we have already started work with the right earnest.
Appreciate your time. So that was DG CSIR Shekhar Mande, who's telling us that technology is changing, the future is there in front of them, and CSIR is working hard to make sure India becomes really an Atmanirbhar country. With camera person Rajesh Sukhi, this is Tapas Bhattacharya, DD India, Delhi.
All right, that's it in this edition of the News This Hour. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.